Hello and welcome to Cricut Basics, and today we're talking cutting mats. So it's a really short video, but I want to tell you about the cutting mats that I use and why you don't need to spend a fortune on branded mats. If you're here, I'm guessing you're new to Cricut. You know that Cricut mats are almost essential in most cases, but they're not cheap, are they? And they don't last long. Now there's lots of videos and tutorials, and you can get sprays to re-stick them. There's tutorials on how to make them sticky, how to wash them, people putting them on washing lines. But I like a new mat, and once it's lost its stick, to me, I don't like it. It doesn't work. And the reason for that is that I do a lot of intricate paper cutting, and the card needs to be stuck on the mat. It cannot have any movement, and that I find is when projects don't cut well, because the card is not on the mat. There's a few things you can do to make your mat last longer, to get a slightly better cut. I used to use the glue sprays, but then a friend of mine gave me a real telling off. She worked in marketing advertising, and they used to have special pods where you masked up and went in these pods with air vents into spraying, because the glue goes onto your lungs. And since I've heard that, I don't use them. I suppose you could go outside with a mask on, but who's got time for that? So I wanted to tell you what I use and why it works for me. So you decide what works for you, but I only ever use the green cutting mat. I used to have the full set, and I originally bought into the thing that I have the pink if I'm cutting fabric, but I don't really cut fabric. But I used to use the blue for lighter projects, and the green, and then you've got the purple. I'd use the green for more vinyl and things that really wanted sticking down. But what I noticed is the blue, because they're basically varying levels of stickiness. In theory, the way it works is the purple's the stickiest, then you've got the green, which is the middle one, and then you've got the blue, which is the least sticky. And you're told, or it's in all the books and the guidebooks, that you use your blue for paper cutting. Try the green. It will last longer. I only ever use my green cutting mat. I swear by it. And because they've got more stick to them. I mean, this is a new one. They do have quite a bit of stick. You get more cuts out of them, and I cut every single day. Why it works for me is because I use a brayer as well, and I reverse weed. So these are the two brands that I use. So I use the Xena and Encappa, I think that's the way you say it. They're both on Amazon, and I buy whatever is on offer. And when you first start using them, they are sticky. As you've used them a couple of times, the stickiness starts to go less and less. But they still last a lot longer than a blue cutting mat. And the reason I make them last longer is a brayer. So this is a Cricut brayer. It's even like got melted bits on it. I've had it so long. So I think I've had this probably 9 years. It's brilliant. There will be other ones on the market that are cheaper, but I'll pop the link to this one in because this is the only one I've used. It's never broke, so it is great. And you want a weeding tool. So this one is my lock lick weeding tool, but Cricut have them too. Again, you can get pretty coloured ones on Amazon. There's lots available. So I'll pop some links below to stuff. And then you've got your scraper. So they're the tools you need to go with your cutting mat, and this is how I make my cutting mat last longer. When you first use the mat for the first time, you're just going to put the product down, and you're going to smooth your hand and just smooth the card onto it. You don't need to do any more. It's sticky, it's going to work. And when you weed it, and this is the fear that people have, is that stuff really sticks to it, and it does, and it's brilliant. So I'm going to pop a video in the side so you can see me doing it, but I reverse weed, and reverse weeding is amazing, because what that does is, I hate weeding. When I first started, and I mean this is quite an intricate cut, and I didn't used to do when I very first started, and obviously I wasn't teaching it, I was just getting to know it myself. I didn't use intricate cuts or make intricate cuts because I hated weeding them. And when I did that, took hours. I used to sit with my little Cricut light and try and weed them out and take them off the card bit by bit. It takes forever. You don't need to do that. You reverse weed it. So what you do is you flip your mat over. So you've got something on your mat. Look in the video at the side, and you'll see it. And you flip your mat and you bend it. Now what is important is you don't bend it in half. You don't break it. It's flexible, but if you go too far, it's going to snap. So you're going to bend it. And you're gradually going to tease away your project. So I'll flip to the video now so that you can see me do it there. And you can see that reverse weeding is really, really easy. It's just about peeling product off the mat. It's mega easy. When you've used your mat a few times, and as I say, I make mine last weeks, and I must cut 5 days a week, easy. And I mean, if you think of these files, every file I make is at least 6 layers. That mat is being used again and again and again. This is my current mat. I've been using it, I reckon, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I have cut so many files on that, so many layers. So it's been through the machine loads. Another tip when you're reverse weeding is to use your hook. So you can use your hook to gently tease things away. So if anything's mega stuck, then use your hook. And when you finish, you have debris left on the mat. So rather than having to pick it all out, you just use your scraper and scrape the debris off. And that is really easy to get the debris off, and it gets everything off your mat. Then you can put your cover on, use your brayer to attach your cover again and store your mat away. And for me, they last longer doing that. I think you naturally know when you come to the end of your mat because it stops sticking. But if you use this and you really brayer things on, it really does attach the card to the mat, and it keeps going for ages. I mean, obviously another tip is to flip your mat so that you get the use out of the top and the bottom. You can't put it in that way, but you can put it in that way and that way. So you're getting as much use out of all that space as possible. And even if you want to go one step further, you can adjust your image in Cricut Design Space to move it to the other side of the mat, because actually I probably use this a bit less. So you could go into your design space and move that over. And I'll show you how to do that. So just by clicking on the mat and then the 3 dots, you can drag it from one side of the mat to the other. Okay, so I hope that was useful. That is how you're going to get the best out of your cutting mats and save so much money on materials that are, for want of a better word, they're a waste material, aren't they? You use them, you need them, but there's something you have to keep replacing. So if you go with the green, follow my tips, and they will last so much longer. Any questions, please do pop them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and happy crafting.